Welcome to our First Star Logistics Studios. You're listening and watching In the Trenches with Dave Lapham. We've asked you for your questions. We're going to answer 3 of those questions today. All 3 of our questions came from Twitter. Rob Hill, first up, he mentioned that Zach said they'll be looking at free agency. I've already begun talking about it. What position or positions do you think they'll be targeting? Well, college free agents, they've already signed 7 of them, 7 different positions. Another running back, cornerback, a punter, tight end, defensive end, quarterback, wide receiver. There are still some pro players out there that were let go due to salary cap issues earlier in the offseason. And there's still good players out there that are still wanting too much money. I think if they come down to reality in terms of what teams are willing to pay, I think the Bengals are still in the hunt. You have to remember, too, they want to get a contract extension for Jesse Bates and Sam Hubbard. So when they talk about all this money they have left to deal in free agency, they want to extend the contracts of those 2 players. There's no question about it. So you have to keep some a slice of the pie ready and available for those guys as they extend those guys before their contract expires. You don't want Jesse Bates to put together another season like he did last year and make it almost impossible to sign him to a contract extension. Our second question comes from Maan. And I don't want to mess your last name up, Maan, so I'm just going to say it's coming from the man. And you have to be happy with the reinforcing of the trenches. Does any player stick out to you? I am very happy with the reinforcement in the trenches. And the thing that they did, I think, so well is there are multiple players. Instead of just going with one guy, they traded down and got multiple draft picks available in the 4th round. And they drafted offensive lineman Jackson Carman out of Clemson with the 46th pick instead of the 38th pick. And they had him on their board. They had him that value, that type of player, with a couple of other offensive linemen. They thought if they went to 46 and one of those 3 guys were still there, they'd be happy and pick up additional 4th-round pick. They got 2 4th-round picks in so doing. And then they just readdressed the offensive and defensive line. Cam Sample, defensive lineman from Tulane, Tyler Shelvin, defensive tackle from LSU, and another offensive lineman, Deontay Smith out of East Carolina. 35-inch arms, 85-inch wingspan. He can tie his shoes without bending over. I think the guys that they've added up front in the offensive and defensive line, 7 of the 10 players they drafted were in the trenches. And I am happy the way they reinforced the trenches, Mon. Our third and final question. Dom is up at Bumbling Bengal. What's up, Dom? Would Tevin Jenkins or perhaps a different lineman like Eichenberg, who was there when they traded down from 38 to 46, and Eichenberg and Jenkins were both off the board, would they have been a better pick than grabbing Carman, Shelvin, and Smith? Was the trade back worth it? And we'll find out. I mean, I like the fact that you're able to double down. I like numbers. I really do. And you've got players that they feel were very, very close in terms of caliber of play. And when you're able to address your offensive and defensive line with multiple opportunities, I think it just basically gives you a chance. It's not all or nothing. Your odds are better. The more players you have that can play. And honestly, would I like to have a superstar offensive lineman and 4 barely make it in the league? Or would I rather have 5 really solid offensive linemen? Personally, I'd like to have 5 really solid offensive linemen. But we'll find out. I mean, if Tevin Jenkins turns out to be a superstar, or Eichenberg has a big year early in their careers, they both show that they're Pro Bowl caliber players, and the Bengals linemen they decided to choose don't show themselves, people will be upset. If it's the other way around, hallelujah. We'll see. Time will tell. This is only the beginning. Getting drafted is only the beginning. Then you have to make the team, prove that you're a caliber player that should start, and then have a long career. So we'll see down the road. Final grade to be determined. Incomplete right now.
Hi, Dave Lapham here. Have you heard about In the Trenches with Dave Lapham presented by First Star Logistics? Catch new episodes from the world of sports and broadcasting. Search for In the Trenches with Dave Lapham on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts.